The second order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to amend the University Teaching Hospitals Reconstruction of Boards, etc. Act Cap U15, Laws of the Federation 2004, and for related matters. Standing in the name of Honorable Okodiko Arigio Gene Jonathan, honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 22nd July 2023. I now invite Honorable Jonathan to move that the bill be read a second time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and my honorable colleague for giving me the opportunity to stand before you this morning. My name is Ukodiko Jonathan Ajiriogene, representing the good people of Isoko North and South Federal Constituency. I'm here to present a bill for this second reading, a bill for an act to amend the University Teaching Hospitals Reconstruction of Boards, etc. Act Cap U15, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and for related matters, HB 962. I thereby submit. Thank you.
Any seconder? Yes, Honorable Mohammed.
The Right Honorable Speaker, my dear honorable colleagues. Mohammed Omar Bio is my name. I speak for the people of Barutin and Kayama Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I come from Kwara State. Mr. Speaker, my dear honorable colleagues, I rise to second the motion as moved by Honorable Jonathan Okadiku from Delta State. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable, please lead the debate.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. My name remains Ukodiko Jonathan Ajiriogene, representing the good people of Isoko North and South Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, naturally, and my honorable colleague, it is a natural said that medically certified good health is the greatest and valuable thing that any nation can claim to have. Mr. Speaker, as we all know, and as you all know, health is one of the most critical aspects that every good nation will deserve to have. And Mr. Speaker, if this bill is passed, there are a lot of benefits that this bill will draw to our people and to Nigerians as a whole. If this bill is being passed for second reading, it will create job opportunities for the training of medical doctors, nurses, and other critical professionals in the medical health sector. Mr. Speaker, if this bill is passed for the second reading, it will be the first of its kind in Delta State, and addition to some few that exist in the Niger Delta. If this bill is passed for second reading and this school is established, it will contribute to the GDP of the country by reducing the health tourism that is going on in this country. Mr. Speaker and my honorable colleague, if this bill is passed for the second reading, it will also improve the numbers of intake of our youth into federal universities or various teaching hospitals that exist in the country. As you all know, Mr. Speaker, if you look what is happening today, if you look at the JAMB records, you will see that the JAMB don't admit more than 50% of the numbers of students, intended students that apply to study in our various health institutions. So by Passing this bill for the second reading, it will also improve on that. Mr. Speaker, there are a lot of benefits that we accrue to the Federation and to my constituency if the bill is passed. Mr. Speaker and my honorable colleague, at this point, kindly permit me, as I graciously invite, seek, and solicit each and every one of us to passionately direct our oneness of love and gratitude toward my constituents, the good and hospitable people of Isoko North and South constituency of Delta State, in support of this bill for its second reading, that we shall create oneness, love, sense of belonging to my constituents. Thank you, and God bless you.
Any seconder to this bill? Honorable Udwak.
Thank you, Your Excellency, my working speaker. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Udwak Alfonso Sodudo is my name. I speak for the people of Ikot Abasi, pertaining an East Nobolo Federal Constituency of Akwa Ibom State. The Speaker, I rise this moment to second that bill. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to amend the University Teaching Hospitals Constitution of Boards ETC Act Cap U15 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to the Committee on Health Institutions for further legislative inputs. The third order of the day is a motion on rescission of clauses 4, 2, and 15(6) of the NABRO bill, standing in the name of Honorable Francis Waive. Honorable Waive is hereby invited to move the motion.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Francis Ejirogane Waive is my name, and I represent the entire people of Ughelli North, Ughelli South, and Udu. I'm from Delta State. I rise this morning to move for the rescission of clauses 4.2, 11.1, and 15.6 of the NABRO Bill 2023. The House notes that the NABRO Bill 2023 was passed on the 21st day of December 2023 and is awaiting the concurrence of the Senate. Also notes that after the passage, it was realized that clauses 4.2, 11.1, and 15.6 of the NABRO bill as passed to be re-examined to achieve the intendment of the bill. The House appreciates that rescinding the decision of clauses 4.2, 11.1, and 15.6 of the NABRO bill will address the mischief the bill seeks to cure. The House therefore resolves to rescind its decision on clauses 4.2, 11.1, and 15.16 of the NABRO bill and recommit same to the Committee of the Whole for reconsideration and passage. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder to this motion? Honorable Jallo.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I'm Saini Mohammed Jallo, representing the good people of the Federal Constituency of Kaduna State. I hereby second the motion ably moved by my colleague. I so second. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Bill committed to the Committee of the Whole. The fourth order of the day is a motion on call for National Disaster Insurance Scheme, standing in the name of Honorable Biodun Omoleye Francis. Honorable Omoleye is invited to move the motion if he's around.
Your Excellency, the People's Speaker, fellow colleagues, my name is Honorable Biodun Omoleye. I represent the entire people of Ekiti Central Federal Constituency 2. consisting of Ekiti West Local Government, Ijero Local Government, and Efon Alaye Local Government of Ekiti State. Mr. Speaker, I am from Ekiti State, the land of honor. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, with your kind permission, I rise this morning to move a motion for the need for a call for national insurance scheme. Mr. Speaker, the House notes that billions of Nigerian taxpayers' funds are allocated to addressing natural and artificial disasters each year with no significant relief to the affected victims. The House also notes that billions of private and public infrastructures are destroyed annually by the combined effect of flood, fire, and storms of unimaginable proportions. Hence the need to address the noticeable gaps in disaster mitigation management in Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, aware that the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, saddled with the management of disasters in Nigeria, has insufficient resources to manage disasters, often resulting in insignificant budgets and unable to mitigate the actual effects. Mr. Speaker, informed that the affected victims are worse off after each disaster mitigation exercise, as hopes and expectations are dashed, leading to huge frustrations and suicide contemplations by many, who are often occupationally and habitually displaced. Concerns are that the rise in unwholesome practices by hoodlums and bandits may be linked to the frustration of victims whose livelihood, such as farming and animal husbandry, have been lost without hope and future assistance. Worried that institutions responsible for risk management during disaster are not fulfilling their expected responsibilities. Concern of the need to connect the relevant agencies to transform their risk-bearing capacity into multilateral risk-bearing capacity and influence that can put smiles on the faces of the victims. Therefore, recognizes that both steps must be taken to secure citizens' future and address disasters affecting everyone, regardless of class, creed, or gender, and evolve a new mitigation approach. The House therefore resolved to urge the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Ministry of Environment, Office of the National Security Advisor, Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation, Fire Services Department, National Human Rights Commission, the Central Bank of Nigeria, Nigeria Insurance Corporation, and representatives of insurance firms to re-examine the current disaster policy framework for national development and consider implementing a new national disaster insurance scheme to ensure public confidence. Also, all the National Orientation Agency, the Ministry of Information and National Orientation, and Public Enlightenment Unit of the National Emergency Management Agency to embark on public enlightenment and sensitization programs nationwide in all Nigerian languages to educate the people on early warning signals, especially on fire during coming Harmattan season. Finally, Mr. Speaker, mandate the Committee on Emergency and Disaster Preparedness, Appropriation, Environment, National Security and Intelligence, Finance, Water Resources, Human Rights, and Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. Mr. Speaker, I so move. Thank you.
Any seconder? Yes, Honorable. Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I'm Honorable Engineer Bukar Talba, member representing Martin Mongunonganze constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Borno State. I second the motion read by my colleagues. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to committees on National Emergency Management, Committee on Ecology, Appropriations, Environment, National Security, Finance, Water Resources, Human Rights, and Legislative Compliance for further legislative actions. The fifth order of the day is a motion on call for channelization of Wase Dam to neighboring communities in Gezawa, Gabasa, Fira constituency, standing in the name of Honorable Mohammed Chiroma Garba. Honorable Garba is hereby invited to move the motion.
Your Excellency, my Honorable Speaker, fellow colleagues, my name is Mohammed Garba Chiroma. I represent the good people of Gezawa, Gabasa Federal Constituency. I stand before you this morning to present a motion on the need for channelization of Wase Dam to neighboring communities in Gezawa, Gabasa Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Munjibur Wase Dam, I so move, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Munjibur Wase Dam was built along the Jakara stream drainage system and channeled into the lowland of Minjibur in order to improve food security, address water scarcity, and support irrigation, agriculture, and reserved for flood control. Mr. Speaker, the Wase Dam is contaminated with industrial and household water waste, causing negative impact on the environment, food crops, aquatic life, and human health, thus emphasizing the need for a treatment method that reserves nutrients and removes harmful substances from polluted water before its use for agriculture and in domestic purposes. Mr. Speaker, aware that the construction of the water treatment plant and irrigation canal from Wase Dam to neighboring communities of Barwa, Mesa Gudel, Yautar Kudu, Yautar Arewa, Marayar Gawo, Tsalle, Yumbu, Maraya Kuka, Yaranci, Baria, Digilo, Bangare, Baita, Masaku, and Erkogi villages will help solve the problem of water shortage, curb desertification, provide water for irrigation and animal husbandry, boost socio-economic activities, and enhance rural livelihood in the host communities. Also aware that the construction of the irrigation canal will enhance government efforts to combat desertification by creating a conducive environment for afforestation at the federal and the state level. Observe that the construction of a plant and irrigation canal will significantly help to reduce seasonal flooding by the Wase Dam overflow, thereby protecting neighboring communities. Recognize that the proposed irrigation canal will increase the number of beneficiaries, boost youth employment, reduce rural urban migration, and make the local economy resilient to market forces, as the Wase Dam is currently underutilized, with only 20,000 people benefiting from its services. The House resolved to urge the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and through Hadeja Jama'are River Basin Development Authority to construct a water treatment plant and irrigation canal to connect the villages of Barwa, Mesar Gudel, Yautar Kudu, Yautar Arewa, Marayar Gawo, Yumbu, Kukar Yamma, Yaranci, Baria, Digilo, Bangare, Baita, Masaku, and Erkogi villages in Gezawa, Gabasa Federal Constituency, and mandate the Committee on Water Resources to liaise with Hadeja Jama'are River Basin Development Authority
to conduct a need assessment for the project to prioritize and capture in the 2025 budget estimate and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Honorable Kalambaina.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My dear colleagues, I remain Honorable Ahmad Abdullah Kalambena, Saldona Kalambena. Although, Mr. Speaker, you once said you only recognize Saldona Ranu, while there's a Saldona of Kalambena in the chamber. Mr. Speaker, I stand to support the motion ably moved by my colleague. I so second. Thank you.
See some resistance and some agony in the faces of some people here when you mentioned that word Sardona. I thought we only have one. I didn't know that there are others who are also challenging that title here.
Mr. Speaker, sir,
Yeah.
I thank God that you are a senior member of the institution in the northern Nigeria. And you can bear me witness, and other members can also testify to the fact that as far as Sokoto is concerned, we had only one Sardona. And any one other Sardona apart from that is a fake one. The only Sardona.
No, sir. We have so many Sardona in Sokoto.
There was only one Sardona.
No,
And
this is
whether he's
Sardona
alive
Kalambena.
or not,
And
whether
Mr.
he's
Speaker,
alive or not,
the
he's
title
the
of
only
Sardona is
Sardona.
only given to the prince of any town.
Thank you, you are protected.
Unlike in other places whereby Sardona title is given to those who are not even prince. Thank you.
Thank you, Kalambaina, you are protected. I know you'll be intimidated, that's why I said let me give you our protection. Honorable colleagues, those in support of this motion should say aye. Pardon? Amendment to the...
Mr. Speaker.
Well, let me allow you, even though we already put the question.
Sorry, sir, you didn't hit the gavel, sir. I am Right Honorable Garba, member representing Yamato, the federal constituency from Gombe State. Sir, I think looking at the importance and the danger faced in that area, there's a need to amend the second prayer to mandate the Committee on Water, the Ministry for Water Resources, number one, Committee for Water Resources, to conduct a proper environmental impact analysis. Because most of these dams and these areas where they are having problems, proper analysis for environmental issues were not done. So it's good to have that so that they have the proper information on how it should be conducted. I want to amend the prayer number one. The ministry should conduct a proper environmental impact analysis on that area. Thank you, sir.
Any seconder to this amendment? Yes, Honorable.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Well, my name is Honorable Engineer Dominic Okafor. I speak for Nigeria, starting from Agata Federal Constituency. I'm from Anambra State. I rise to support the amendment ably moved by my colleague. I so second.
Those in support of this amendment should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Those in support of this motion as amended should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Water Resources for further legislative action. The sixth order of the day is a motion on deplorable state of road network in the Federal Housing Estate Alimosho, Federal Constituency of Lagos State, standing in the name of Honorable Ganiu Adele Ayuba. Honorable Ayuba is hereby invited to move the motion.
Right Honorable Speaker. Is? I can't see it. Okay.
I'm really sorry, Honorable Speaker.
Abdulgani Adele Ayuba is my name. I represent Ali Mosho Federal Constituency. Honorable Speaker, please, I intended having a word with you, your humble self, before the motion, please. I crave your danger to please let me have the conversation with you before I move the motion, please. I'm sorry.
You want to step it down?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Motion step down by the leader of the House. The seventh order of the day is a motion on the need to rescue the Nigerian economy from imminent collapse and restore investors' confidence in the system, standing in the name of Honorable Leke Joseph Abijide. Honorable Leke is hereby invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Leke Abijide is my name. I represent the good people of Yagba East, Yagba West, Mapamorofera constituency. I'm from Kogi State. The motion on the need to rescue the Nigerian economy from imminent collapse and restore investors' confidence in the system. The House notes that conventional fiscal policies require a minimum of 90 days to manifest, in contrast to the current trend in Nigeria, where immediate enforcement is prevalent, thus necessitating the need for a shift towards a collaborative approach which integrates fiscal and monetary policies with stakeholders' engagement to prevent isolation and guarantee active stakeholders' involvement in consequential decisions. Also note that the Central Bank of Nigeria has raised customs tariffs 6 times, even more now, in the past 6 months, causing inflation and disrupting import and excise duty calculations, which businesses rely on for business planning. Aware that businesses and investors rely on a stable transactional exchange rate for import and excise duty calculation for at least 2 years to enable effective business planning. Alarmed that the Central Bank of Nigeria experienced a series of exchange rates adjustments for custom duties within 6 months, in 24 June 2023, the rate increased from 422 naira 30 kobo per dollar to 589 naira to a dollar, followed by 770 naira 88 kobo to a dollar on July 6, 2023, 783 1.74 kobo to a dollar on November 14, 2023, 951.941 to a dollar on December 7, 2023, and a double adjustment on February 2nd and 3rd, 2024, reaching 1,356.833 kobo to a dollar and 1,413.62 to a dollar, respectively, illustrating excessive fluctuations and volatility in the current market, raising significant concern about business planning and economic stability. Worried that due to the frequent custom exchange rate hikes, Nigerian importers are shifting towards ports in Tema, Ghana, Lomé, Togo, Cotonou, Benin Republic, causing a substantial 65% decrease in cargo importation and businesses' activities at the Nigerian seaports, with daily container examination dropping from approximately 250 to just about 80. Concerned that the current system in Nigeria, which relies on market-based exchange rate for calculating custom duties, causes fluctuation based on market conditions.
Honorable, please approach the acting chief whip before seeing the speaker.
And poses significant predictability and stability challenges for business, thus necessitating alternative solutions for custom duties by considering options like a fixed rate system or a hybrid system combining market-based and fees elements to enhance predictability and stability in the system. Resolve
One, urge the Federal Ministry of Finance and Central Bank of Nigeria to provide adequate notice to stakeholders in the maritime industry and the general public before altering custom exchange rates. This ensures transparency and allows stakeholders to prepare for any changes that may affect their operations. Two, urge the Central Bank of Nigeria to maintain the system exchange rate for custom duty and excise duty purposes below 1,000 naira to $1, preferably
Honorable Gaza, you are distracting the speaker. Somebody is
to $1
reading his
to
motion,
encourage
please.
patronage in Nigerian ports, to prevent galloping inflation, aiming to balance economic stability with competitiveness in the global market. Three, further urge the Federal Ministry of Finance to ensure the international best practice of allowing a 90-day grace period for fiscal policy changes to facilitate the completion of ongoing transactions under existing policies. And finally, number 4, mandate the committees of customs and excise, finance, and banking regulation to interface with the Minister of Finance, Central Bank of Nigeria Governor, and Comptroller General of Nigeria Customs on how fixed exchange rate for custom excise duties will work for the system to boost exports and encourage patronage in the nation's ports. I so move, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Thank you.
Seconder, that is my brother that we have not heard his voice for quite a long time. He is the chair of 2 committees. If he accepts to also introduce himself properly, you will have the floor.
Thank you.
Honorable Konta.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, honorable colleagues. I rise this morning to give my support to this very important. I'm so sorry, Mr. Speaker. I thought I'm well known here. I thought I'm well known that. Anyway, my name is Honorable Chris Nkwanta, and I represent the good people of Okwa East and West Federal Constituency in Abia State. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, and for the information of those new members who just arrived, I am chairman on amendment. The only committee that has 1 member, the only committee whose members do not attend meetings, even when they are notified, and also chairman for climate change. Mr. Speaker, this motion is very, very timely. In fact, it is overdue.
Are you seconding or you are contributing? I just want to
second this motion, and then subsequently I'll make my contributions.
You are recognized to second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to committees on finance, banking and currency, and custom and excise for further legislative actions. The 8th order of the day is a motion on the need to review the 2024 hard fare payable by intending pilgrims, standing in the name of Honorable Umar Shehu Ajilo. Honorable Ajilo is hereby invited to move the motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The Ian Zazo. My name is Honorable Umar Ajilo, member representing the very good people of Makarfi-Kudan Federal Constituency. I am from the northwestern Nigeria of Kaduna State. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, my motions today is a need to review.
Chair rules, please maintain order.
My motions today is a need to review the 2024 Hajj fare payable by the intending pilgrims. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, the House note that Hajj is an important pillar of Islamic religion that enjoins the visitations of the holy mosques and other historical sites, amongst other significant rituals in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Also note that this year Hajj fares has been fixed at the very exorbitant rate of about 5 million naira, which is unsuitable for a middle and low incomes intended pilgrims. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, the House concerned that given surrounding circumstances and prevailing economic reality, it has become necessary to reassess the review, the process and procedures adopted by the National Hajj Commissions in arriving at the fair with a view to reducing it, thereby making sense affordable to the intending pilgrims. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, my prayer here is urge the federal government of Nigeria to intervene by subsidizing the Hajj fair to enable the intending pilgrims to participate in these religious rituals. My final prayer, Mr. Speaker, mandate the Committee on Muslim Pilgrims in the House to engage the National Hajj Commission in reviewing and reassessing the process and strategize to make pilgrims fair more affordable for intending pilgrims. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleague, I so move. Thank you.
Any seconder, Honorable Ginger?
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, very dear colleagues. My name is Ginger Obinna Onwusibe. I represent Isialangwa North, Isialangwa South Federal Constituency of Abia State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to second the motion as moved by my colleague. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Aye. Amendment? Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is respected members of the House, exuberant members of the House. My name is Honorable Abdul Hakim Kamila Ado, member representing Garuko Wudil Federal Constituency, Kano State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to amend this important motion. I would like to amend prayer 2, that the House mandate the Committee on Muslim Pilgrimage to engage the National Hajj Commission in reviewing and reassessing processes and strategies aimed at making pilgrimage fair more affordable for intending pilgrims. Mr. Speaker, this prayer can be amended to mandate the Committee on Muslim Pilgrim to interface with the National Hajj Commission in reviewing and reassessing processes and strategies aimed at making pilgrimage fare more affordable for intending pilgrims and report back to this House within 4 weeks. Because of the importance of this prayer and Hajj period is fast approaching.
So what are you saying differently? Just to change interface with engage?
Just to interface and also to report back to this House, we need to give them a limited time. Due to fast
Is it the time period?
Yes.
I don't know what you are amending there, because interface and engagement to me are almost one and the same thing. So what are you amending?
To report back, Mr. Speaker, to this House.
Pardon?
To report back within 4 weeks, the timing.
To report back?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
So time frame?
Yes, sir.
Any seconder? Is there anyone who is just coming back from Umrah? Right, Honorable. Mashi.
Your Excellency, Right Honorable Speaker, my dear respected colleagues, my name is Salis Yusuf Majigiri. I represent Mashidusi Pere constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Katsina State. I rise to second the amendment ably moved by Honorable Member from Kano State. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this amendment should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Those in support of this motion as amended should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Muslim Pilgrimage for further legislative inputs. The ninth order of the day is a motion on the need to investigate abuse of due process in the award of contracts and constructions of metropolitan fire stations in FCT, Lagos, Abeokuta, Minna, Kano, and Enugu states. Standing in the name of Honorable Peter Apampe, Honorable Peter is hereby invited to move the motion, if he's around.
Right, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Peter Akbanke is not on the floor. I therefore move that it be stepped down today. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Motion is stepped down by the leave of the House. The 10th order of the day is a motion on the need to fund Mango Dam project to completion. Standing in the name of Honorable Ishai David Lalu, Honorable Lalu is hereby invited to move the motion.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am by name Honorable Ishaya David Lalu, member representing the good people of Mangu, Bokos Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Plateau State, the home of peace and tourism. The need to fund, I rise to move the motion for the need to fund Mangu Dam project to completion. The House notes that the Mangu Dam project awarded in 2002 by the federal government of Nigeria through the Federal Ministry of Water Resources had the purpose of constructing a dam and a water treatment plant, providing potable drinking water, supporting irrigation farming, and potentially generating electricity. Also note that the water supply component of the project was designed to provide potable drinking water to 11 communities in Mangu local government area of Plateau States, including Gindiri, Chanso, Kasuang Ali, Langai, Kadunu, Mangu Town, Mangu Hale, Panyam, Pushit, Kerang, and Mangun. Aware that the project initially awarded in 2022 to Transproject Company Limited under President Olusegun Obasanjo administration was abandoned until August 2014 when it was awarded to another contractor, Infuse International Limited, during President Goodluck Jonathan administration. Worried that the water treatment plant and dam were awarded to various contractors. However, the former Minister for Water Resources inaugurated the plant on December 17, 2018, but the dam is not yet...
Honorable G.B. Benson, can you sit down, please? You are distracting us, please.
Owing to inadequate funding over the past 2 years, the House resolved to urge the Federal Ministry of Water Resources to include the Mangu Dam project in the 2025 budget estimate with consideration of variation in price and initiate budgetary release for the completion of the project. Also urge the Federal Ministry of Water Resources to award the contract for the reticulation component of the project as it is in the agreement. The House also resolved to mandate the Committee on Water Resources and Sanitation and Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I so move. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable, please go ahead.
The right, the Honorable Speaker.
Okay, there is an amendment, please. Just hold on, let him move for the amendment and then you can second. Okay? Thank you. Please go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, sorry, I'm not taking your position, Chairman of Amendment Committee. I am only intruding to make things go correctly. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am Honorable Ino Garba, member representing Yama to the Federal Constituency from Gombe State. While I appreciate the mover of this motion, I want to amend his last prayer for to mandate Committee on Water Resources and Sanitation and legislative compliance to ensure compliance. Sir, looking at the time frame when this contract was initially awarded. Please, sorry, let me talk to the speaker. It's on from 2002. Looking at the time frame, and the second time, it was 2014. And now, he's praying that the contract should be inserted in the budget 2025. We don't know what transpired between 2002, 2014, and now should be inserted. We can end up maybe putting it in the budget to have an impediment. So I want to amend the last prayer that the Committee on Water Resources to investigate first so that we will know the situation on the ground and report back. So we add in the last prayer, mandate Committee on Water Resources to investigate the said contract, to report back, while the other Committee on Sanitation and Legislative Compliance should engage in the discussion in the process with the same committee. Let them investigate first, sir. Because if we go ahead and put it in the budget, while there are some issues between the contractors or the committee or the other stakeholders, it may have, impediment. Thank you.
Okay, honorable colleagues, you have had his own contribution and the amendment to include the word investigation, just asserting what happened in between all these years. Any seconder to this amendment? Seconder to the amendment? Yes, Right Honorable, please go ahead.
Your Excellency, Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am engineer from Dali of Cholom, member representing Plenary Federal Constituency. For the importance of this motion, I stand to second the motion and of the amendments as I so moved by my honorable member from Plateau State. Thank you, I so move, sir. I second.
Those in support of this amendment should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Those in support of this motion as amended should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Water Resources for further legislative inputs. The 11th order of the day is a motion on alleged non-remittance and on the remittance of tax by ministries, departments and agencies of government, oil companies, and other organizations standing in the name of Honorable Isosa Iyawe. Honorable Iyawe is hereby invited to move the motion.
Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Isosa Iyawe can't be seen on the floor. I therefore move that his motion be stepped down. Thank you very much.
Motion stepped down by the leave of the House. The 12th order of the day is a motion on the need to curtail the dangerous effects of sport betting and direct the National Lottery Regulatory Commission to comply with the Lottery Regulatory Commission Act 2005, standing in the name of Honorable Kelechi Nwogu. Honorable Nwogu is hereby invited to move the motion.
The right, the Honorable Speaker. My name is Honorable Kelechi Nwogu. I represent the people of Ichi, Omoma Federal Constituency. Right, Honorable Speaker, I'm from Rivers State, the treasure base of the nation. I rise to move a motion of the need to curtail the dangerous effect of sport betting and direct the National Lottery Regulatory Commission to comply with the Lottery Regulatory Commission Establishment Act 2005 to protect the rights of citizens. Right, Honorable Speaker, there is no need to bore the House. I will just take one or two paragraphs and I will go straight to the prayers. aware that the National Lottery Act 2005 provides for the establishment of the National Lottery Regulatory Commission and the National Lottery Trust Fund to ensure fair operation and protection of players, stakeholders, and the public. Worried that the weak or neglected regulations of sports betting has dangerously led to mental health problems such as depression, anxiety, and broken relationships due to lying or stealing from friends and family, financial problems, legal issues, job loss due to excessive loss of debts, increased crime rates, and eventually committing suicide. Disturbed that most players prefer betting through their mobile phones instead of visiting rental outlets in order to escape control and regulations. Also aware of the need to carry campaigns to prevent the negative social impact of lottery and prohibit underage participation. Right Honourable Speaker, I will resolve as follows: to invite the National Lottery Regulatory Body Commission to brief the committee on its efforts to safeguard the rights of sports betting players. 2, urge the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation to conduct comprehensive nationwide campaigns to raise public awareness about the negative impact of youth participation of sports betting. Mandate the Committee on Governmental Affairs to conduct a public hearing on the dangerous effect and benefit of sports betting in Nigeria and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. Right Honourable Speaker, I so move.
Any seconder? As Emergua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman Pilgrim, go back to your seat. Chairman
Honorable
Pilgrim,
colleagues.
Muslim Pilgrim, please go back to your seat.
My name is Right Honorable Boniface Emerengwa. I represent the good people of Ikwere, my federal constituency. Mr. Speaker, Honorable colleagues, I'm from Ikwere of Rivers State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion, ably moved by my brother, Honorable Kelechi Wogu. I say second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Intergovernmental Affairs for further legislative actions. The 13th order of the day is a motion on need to immortalize late Governor Oluwarotimi Odunayo Akeredolu, son, CON, in recognition of his tremendous contributions to national development, standing in the name of Honorable Festus Ayodele Adefarayin. Honorable Festus is hereby invited to move the motion. Honorable Festus?
Mr. Speaker, this is rather sad, but we have to follow our procedure. Honorable Festus is not on the floor, so I move that it be stepped down. Thank you.
Motion stepped down by the leave of the House. Chair rules. Chair rules, please. Yes, Honorable Bob Solomon.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name is Solomon Bob. I am from River State and I represent Abua, Odo, and Ahuda East Federal Constituency. Mr.
Order,
Speaker,
please. Order,
Please,
order,
Honorable
order.
colleague, we should maintain decorum, please.
Mr. Speaker, I'm coming by way of points of order. And it's following Order 6, Rule 1.
Order, please. Order, order.
Where are you coming from? What's this?
Is this your seat?
It's my seat.
Are you an FPC member?
Please, our colleague from Southwest, please get back to your seat. You are just coming in. Please get seated. Honorable colleague, we should maintain decorum, please. Thank you.
Order, please. Order, order.
Order, order in the House, please. Order, order, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So I'm coming by way of points of order. Order 6, Rule 1, which deals with the collective privilege of members of this House. The matter I'm going to discuss affects our privileges collectively and individually. And it has to do with a motion that was reported in our votes and proceedings 2 days ago. Yesterday, as a matter of fact, yesterday. The motion calls, it was by our colleague, Honorable Kuye, and it calls on the House.
Is
It calls
the
on the House.
issue Honorable Bob Solomon is raising is a very, very serious one. Please, I beg you to be attentive. Let's give him the opportunity to speak so that we can take a decision collectively, please.
The motion calls on the House to look into, otherwise investigate state spending and utilization of the increased allocation from FAC. Mr. Speaker, we shouldn't make a public spectacle of ourselves here. This House has no power to look into state spending. Our powers under Section 4 of the Constitution and Section 88 of the Constitution relates only to federal revenue. Section 128 of the Constitution deals with matters relating to states, and only state assemblies can look into such matters. So I hereby, by the authority of our rules, under Order 8, Rule 6, which now deems this matter as one in today's course of business, I hereby, under that rule, move that this matter, the motion taken on Tuesday, be rescinded. Further to that, I also cite Order 906, which deals particularly with rescission. So the matter should be rescinded. The House should rescind the matter and expunge it from our records. and be taken as though it never happened. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, honorable colleagues.
Thank you, Honorable Bob. Before I call for, we put it to question, Honorable Ade Kwe, I was made to understand that you are the one who moved the motion on the issue of investigating states and local government on their budgetary spending or something. I'm sure you're aware that Bob Solomon has just made some kind of remarks concerning the constitutionality of this chamber to entertain issues that have to do with the spendings of states and local government. Are you okay with this rescission? He is calling for a rescission of that decision we took 2 days ago.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Ademori Kuye, and I speak for Shomolu Federal Constituency, Shomolu Federal Constituency, Lagos State. The motion that Your Excellency referred to was unanimously adopted by the House and passed, and there is a standing resolution on that. If there's going to be any further debate on it, it should come by way of motion so that we can have opportunity to really debate it. That's my suggestion.
The chair rules, what is the provision in the event of this kind of issue?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. What the rule provides here in order 9.6, debate on any motion, bill, or amendment shall be relevant to such. Excuse me. Well, what it provides is for substantive motion. That's the word. The question is whether substantive motion has to be on notice. But this is a motion to that effect. And I think that as long as it's a motion to that effect, it is substantive and it suffices. A law does not say it must have to be on notice. It's a substantive motion. And that's a motion he has raised. And I think that it suffices, Mr. Speaker. The motion was a motion of urgent public importance on Tuesday. So that's what is... So that's the position, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Dogwa.
Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues, I remain Honorable Ado Dogwa. Mr. Speaker, I represent Dogwa Tudunwada Federal Constituency. And for the record, sir, I am the Sardauna of the ancient Reno Kingdom. My colleagues, I think this is a matter that is quite sensitive. No matter what our rules provide, we are human here. We are all human. I'm sure by omission or commission, the motion moved by our learned colleague, Honorable Kuye, on Tuesday last week, I think has fallen on the ground of being human. As long as we have discovered that this House is lacking in powers, constitutional powers on the matter, we do not have to drag this issue. This motion has moved, whether on notice or not notice, since it is bordering on a point of error committed by this honorable House, we should quickly rush to respond to his motion and just delete whatever we have done in that respect. Mr. Speaker, this is my observation, and with the leave of the House, I think, Mr. Speaker, you should allow that be deleted as moved by Honorable Solomon. I thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Honorable Jimmy, you want to contribute too?
Yes. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, the Agba King of Ekiti Land, and the Ian Zazao. I remain Baba Jimmy Benson. I represent the very good people of the Ikorodu Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, we're here today representing 360 constituencies, defending the Constitution. The Constitution under Section 4 talks about the primary purpose of government, which is to protect the welfare and the security of its people. The biggest problem we have today, Mr. Speaker, is insecurity. Insecurity has been dealt with severally by this government using kinetic means. The non-kinetic means is what Honorable Kuye is asking the federal government to double down on, which is to ensure that monies allocated to states and local governments in view of the subsidy removal are judiciously used so that Nigerians in ungovernable spaces, in unemployed areas, get governance. Honorable Kuye has also said that the Committee on National Planning should be involved in this process to ensure that those monies...
I think it is not the justification. We are talking about the constitutionality. Do we have the right to monitor activities of states and local governments? That is all.
I'm going somewhere,
It's not
sir.
the issue of the subject matter being right or wrong.
Yes, sir. The money was disbursed. The money was disbursed to states and local government by an authority wherein the parliament has oversight over. So by that stretch, sir, I believe that we have a right to be able to superintend, because the monies were not distributed from the local government up. There's an agency from the federal government that did that disbursement. So oversighting that big federal agency, I think, is within our purview, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order.
Honorable Alimadaki, I will identify only two people who will put the question based on the request of Honorable Bob Solomon.
Mr. Speaker, my highly respected colleagues, my name is Aliyu Sani Madaki, and I represent the Ala Federal constituency of Kano State. Mr. Speaker, I want to stand on Order 9, Rule 6. I want us to look at it very carefully, because I believe what was done on Tuesday, I may say was wrong. But what we are trying to do now is to make another mistake on another mistake, because our rule here says, I'm talking of Rule 9.6, it shall be out of order to attempt to reconsider any specific question upon which the House has come to a conclusion during the current session, except upon a substantive motion for rescission. I'm not sure whether what my honorable colleague did was a substantive motion or was a substantive motion. So what I'm saying, if we are going to ask that it be removed, it should be upon a substantive motion. Yes.
I think Honorable Alimadaki is right. What I would request from you, Honorable Bob Solomon, is come up with a motion on Tuesday to rescind it. Okay?
Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's very obvious to me that my colleagues are not paying attention to what I was saying. I cited Order 8 Rule 6. Order 8 Rule 6 empowers me to bring that motion here now. There are exceptions under Order 8 under which you can bring motions right at that moment. One of them is Order 8 Rule 6. Let me read it to you. A motion arising out of the business of the day made immediately after that business is disposed of and before any business is disposed of. One of the conditions in which you can bring a motion on the floor is this one. In all other circumstances, you are required to file a motion notice or seek legal speaker for a motion or audio national importance. This one is one of the exceptions under 9, excuse me, under Order 8. Order 8, Rule 6 is here. So I cited that. I cited 9. 9 deals specifically with rescission. This one deals with a circumstance in which you can bring a motion without being on notice on the floor right there.
Honorable Bob, Honorable Bob, I still believe. Please take your seat. Without prejudice to what you have just read on Order 8, Rule 6, I don't think we are also in any contravention if we also accept that we need to go by way of substantive, any substantive motion has to go by way of notice, and there is no damage, as far as I can see, if we just delay to the next legislative date for you to move substantively that we should rescind that particular decision. I don't think if there is any harm to that. So, honorable colleagues, with your kind permission, we leave this to be taken on Tuesday next week from Honorable Bob Solomon. We'll give him the opportunity either to come under urgent or we can put it under notice for him to actually take this very important issue. Thank you very much. I have an announcement from Honorable Barrister Abubakar A. Muhammad, and the message is concerning a wedding engagement of his children. He said, I hope this invitation finds you in good health and high spirits. It is with great pleasure and honor that I announce and extend this invitation to the entire honorable members under the able leadership of Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas to attend the wedding party of my daughter. The wedding is slated to hold on 23rd February 2024 at Jamaatul Izalatul Bida wa Ikamatul Sunnah Central Mosque, Dandume local government by 1:30 p.m. immediately after Jumat prayers. Thank you very much for considering my invitation, and I look forward to the possibility of welcoming you all to this joyous occasion. Signed, Honorable Abubakar Ahmad Mohammed, member representing Funtua Nantume Federal Constituency of Katsina State. Can you move that we suspend other items on the agenda in view of the fact that the Deputy Speaker is not on ground to go ahead with the balance of the items that we have?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Francis Ejirogane Waive is my name, and I represent the entire people of Ughelli North, Ughelli South, and Udu. I'm from Delta State. I rise to move that the remaining items on the order paper for today, items 14, 15, 16, be stepped down to the next legislative business day. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder, please, from the minority?
Mr. Speaker, my highly respected colleagues,
Honorable Solomon.
My name is Aliu Sanuma Daki, and I represent the Alapero constituency of Kano State. I stand to second the motion as ably moved by the chairman, business and rule. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. The leader of the House, can you move that we adjourn?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues. In the absence of no further deliberation, I move that the House do adjourn to next week, same time, Tuesday next week. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? Any seconder, please?
I stand to second the motion that we do adjourn to Tuesday next week, same time, same venue. I do second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Well, the nay should stay until next week, Tuesday by 11 a.m.